And a good morning to every single amplified unit member out there in the world today. We have a lot to get to in this NXT review in a short amount of time. And we're going to get to all of it, like Pat McAfee, this outsider who comes into NXT, who comes into professional wrestling, and he pretty much exposes the business because he was that damn good on the stick last night. Exposing 90+% of the heels of the pro wrestlers in this business today that don't even have half of that charisma, half that personality, that don't have a shred, not even a shred of promo ability. And they got a thing called the Performance Center where they have promo classes where they hope that everybody is a robotic carbon copy of one another. And yet it's worse today, promos, than ever before. And Pat McAfee comes out of nowhere and he's fucking shredding down Adam Cole and showing every professional wrestler how it's done in week 1. Promo class. These kids have to graduate the Performance Center School of Arts. And they get to the fucking main roster and they come up with that shit that we see. Ricochet, who we all love. But damn, when he gets on the microphone, we all want to block our fucking ears. Those noise-canceling headphones, right? Cedric. Amazing promo. Man, when he's cutting a promo, you stop what you're doing and you listen to Cedric Alexander. Oh, wait. No, we don't. Imperium. Oh, they're incredible. On the stick. Or not so much. Garza blows us away. Oh man, I can go on and on and on with people that don't captivate me when they speak. When the amplified man, a YouTuber, you're just a YouTuber, BC. Shut up and watch the product. Hey BC, you're just a podcaster. Sit back and enjoy it, BC. Don't take it so seriously, BC. You're a podcaster. You're a YouTuber. When a YouTuber and a podcaster entertains you more than the professional wrestlers, we have an issue. When the amplified man, a YouTuber and a podcaster, when I am cutting better promos than 90+% of the wrestlers, we have an issue. We have a problem. That's where we're at. And Pat McAfee shows up out of nowhere, and he's cutting a damn good solid heel / just overall professional wrestler promo. And you're like, well, where the fuck is this on every show? Oh yeah, nobody has that it factor. I would not be surprised. I kid you not. I would not be surprised if Pat McAfee shows up Saturday night and has one of the matches of the night. I would not be surprised if his performance is one of the matches of the fucking night. I wouldn't be surprised. Not saying it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. Did I blow my mic out yet? Oh, we're just getting started. But before I even get to the NXT review, we have a couple of news topics that we need to attend to and address right off the bat. And of course, I'm talking about one being the Velveteen Dream. Not only is he back in NXT, but the Velveteen Dream is back underneath that WWE umbrella, and he's thrusted right back into the main event spot where he left off. And it's got a lot of the wrestling community kind of split. So Triple H is now speaking up and out about it. He was asked about the Velveteen Dream recently, and he spoke about it, sort of. I mean, this guy danced around this question as much as one human being possibly could. Triple H, I'm going to give you word for word his quote as it pertains to the Velveteen Dream. Don't worry, it's only a couple of paragraphs. I'm not going to keep you here all day. But I need you to hear these words because this is a dude who is just completely uncomfortable with this situation and topic and or is straight bullshitting us. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean through his words themselves. And that's just going to be in a minute, guys. I first want to get to the other topic that Triple H talked about, and this is Renee Young. Renee Young, of course, I put up a video yesterday, impromptu, an hour after news broke that Renee Young is leaving WWE I cut a video an hour later, and I discussed all that we knew about it, and it seems pretty viable. The sources that we are getting it from, Renee Young has not denied it. Triple H is now speaking about it, and he is not denying it. It looks like Renee Young has indeed last week asked for her release from Vince McMahon and WWE, and it looks like she is granted it. The way they're speaking highly of her, it doesn't look like they're going to hold her captive like they do a lot of talents. Now it's just a waiting game. When is Renee Young's last day? We think it's going to be SummerSlam weekend, which is this weekend. We expect Renee Young to work SummerSlam, and then that is going to be it. We don't know officially. We'll hopefully find out in the next 24, 48 hours. But I broke that video yesterday for you guys, and a few hours later, Triple H was asked about Renee Young, and he actually spoke about her a little bit. He didn't give too much up, but this is the quote from Triple H on Renee Young. "I won't comment directly on her status with the company. I'll let Renee do that on her terms. But as far as her personally and as a part of WWE, it's been awesome. She has been a large part of this. I've personally enjoyed working with her tremendously, and it's been awesome to see her attack different things within the company and try different roles. I thought she's done an amazing job with all of them, and I'll let her handle the rest of it. But as far as her contributions, they've been awesome." So you guys are gathering right from this whole paragraph, he's talking past tense, right? Past term. So right there, it's pretty much finished. Whether she works SummerSlam or not, he's pretty much bundling this all up into a ball, and everything has been, listen again, as far as her personally as a part of WWE, it's been awesome. Not it is awesome, right? You can always pick up on where we're at with a situation by somebody's words and how they're wording their statement. You can always gauge what's really happening, right? When you use words like it's been awesome, not it is awesome. We love having Renee. No, we loved ED. Right? And when it's all past tense, that tells you all you need to know. So he's being cordial. He's being more than respectful. He's actually saying straight out how big Renee Young meant to WWE. But just like every superstar that means so much to Vince McMahon and WWE, why not treat them that way when they're there, right? That's the biggest fucking issue with this company. We know how significant, how important, how crucial some of these people are to that company, and they treat you like shit until they want to run away. They want to leave. They ask for their release. And then all of a sudden you hear all these kind words like they meant so much to the company. And we knew from the beginning, we know today how much Renee Young means to that company, how much she brings to the table. And yet they don't recognize these talents until they're gone or they're leaving. That's what pisses all of us off. If these words were so true to Triple H and to Kennedy McMahon, then why are we not seeing Renee Young where she should be? Every single Friday night or Monday, whichever show you prefer, she should be having a sit-down interview one-on-one with somebody. It's an intriguing, captivating 4 to 5 minutes. That's all. 3-hour show on Raw. You got 4 to 5 minutes for Renee. Personal sit-down interview. Nobody does it like Renee Young. It's very intriguing and it's very captivating and entertaining because it is so personable. Because it's so natural when Renee Young is having an interview. And in the process, you can elevate a superstar in that 4 to 5 minute interview way more than any bullshit segment in the middle of the ring with Moment of Bliss or the Kevin Owens show. No, Renee Young, 4 to 5 minutes, backstage, personable interview, and that'll do wonders for the superstar you're trying to get over. Renee Young can pull that out of people. She's that damn good. Why were we not seeing enough of that? Yeah, but now Triple H wants to talk about how tremendous she's been. Pisses me off because you don't treat people that way when they're here, right? It's like human beings in general, right? We love so many family members and friends, but when we're here on this earth, do we really tell them that enough? How often do you really call up your mother, your father, your siblings, your relatives, your good friends when you get older? You know, how often are you really talking? How often are you really telling them how much they mean to you, how much you love them, how much you want to get together and have some coffee? Probably not a lot. And it's not blaming anybody. It's life gets in the way and you kind of do your own thing. And before you know it, time flies, man. And we unfortunately, what happens is people move on. And we're stuck with the realization that we should have told them how we felt more. We should have expressed or reached out and tried to talk more, tried to do more. That's a human side of it. And I know I just got really deep there, but when they're there in that company and you have an abundance of talent, how the fuck do you just let it go to waste, man? You see how enthusiastic she was for talking smack. And when that got canceled, how bummed she was. You see how enthusiastic she was for WWE backstage with the Fox Network. And then that got canceled and she was so bummed. You saw how enthusiastic she was for that type of thing. She wanted to do something far more than the norm in WWE. She wanted those personable ESPN type interviews with fucking LeBron or Aaron Rodgers, right? She wanted that type of shit. She wanted to anchor a show like ESPN Sports Center. You could have done so much with Renee, and you chose not to. And now all of a sudden, you talk about how great she is. Oh, I'm sorry, was. Because for Triple H and Vince, I'm telling you, the second they're out the door, they don't think about them again. Business as usual. Fuck them. Until they go somewhere like AEW and somebody like Renee Young. In AEW, if AEW decides to have those personable 4 to 5 minute interview segments and Renee Young reaches her full potential without Vince McMahon in her fucking ear, dragging her down or making her feel uncomfortable or making her second guess herself without Kennedy in her ear and with a fresh canvas to paint on, don't think for 1 second somebody like Renee Young can't do wonders in a place like AEW, side by side with her fucking husband Mox. It could happen. Don't doubt it. Right now, she wants to do her cookbook. She wants to do a podcast. She wants to be a podcaster. That's what we're hearing anyway. Who was it? Paul Heyman left a message on social talking about her doing a podcast and in a cookbook or some shit. I don't know. Paul Heyman hasn't really broke his silence since he left WWE or got canned. But he was really kind of up in his feelings when he heard about Renee Young. So Paul Heyman left a long message as well, saying thank you to Renee and talking about exactly what I said. See, this is what I mean. Paul Heyman literally said in his message, Paul Heyman was able to be Paul Heyman and reach another level because of Renee Young. I paraphrased, obviously. I don't have his exact quote in front of me, but it was something like that. Like Paul Heyman was a better Paul Heyman because of Renee Young, and that's what I mean. That's what she does for individuals. She'll make you 10 times better and captivate all of us in the process. Anyway, guys, thank you for my cold open, letting that be about Renee Young half of this. Velveteen Dream is to come. But I had to speak more on that because Triple H is speaking about it. And he's dancing around it. He won't give any logistics. He said a couple of times, I'm going to let Renee Young handle that, meaning her future. He's not going to be the one to break the news. And that's cool. But, you're one of the heads of the company. You can give us a little bit more fucking info. The rest of the world already knows Renee's leaving. You can give us a little bit more. Instead, he just wants to tell us how awesome she is, something we already knew. So why not treat her like that when she's here? Again, not to be depressing, but it's the same for all of us and our loved ones in this world. Treat them better while they're here, because there's going to come a day when they're not. Now, on the flip side, I know this cold open will probably be longer than the fucking review itself, but that's what we do on the Amplified channel. We just got the gift to gab. We gather together as the Amplified unit and we just talk pro wrestling, man. It could be 20 minutes, could be a half an hour, could be 2.5 hours. That's what we do. Triple H on Velveteen Dream. You guys ready for this? Because this... You thought there was some bullshit in the Renee Young quote, right? Listen to these 2 paragraphs. Listen to these words, guys, please. And you tell me this isn't a dude who is either bullshitting or he's just so uncomfortable that there's more to the story. And you guys know I love Velveteen Dream. I just think he's a bona fide superstar. He captivates me. And there's certain individuals that just do, and most do not. Velveteen falls under the category of fucking awesome. I'm really high on Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream. But it seems like Vince McMahon is hiding or covering something up here. Vince McMahon, him too, obviously. Triple H. Listen to this. And I quote, "You know, in this day today, accusations are made and you take them all very seriously. You look into them the best you can, and you find out what is there and what isn't. In this situation, Patrick Clark was also involved in a car accident. That's what took him off TV. In the moment, all of this other stuff happens and you look into it and you find that there is a situation that people bring to everyone's attention. You look into it and you find that it is what it is and there's nothing there." Just odd wording. What did he just even say right there? Everything that we have done, we are comfortable with him continuing to do what he does and everything else. But he had a car accident. It stemmed down to people thought we removed him from TV for different reasons. We didn't. He was in a car accident. Once he was medically cleared to be able to return to the ring from that car accident, we continued forward the way we did. We looked into what was there and we didn't find anything. End quote. This was so fucking bonkers, guys. Where do I even break this down? Listen again. In this situation, Patrick Clark was also involved in a car accident. That's what took him off TV. In the moment, all of this other stuff happens and you look into it. No, that is a lie. The car accident happened after all of this personal shit came down for Velveteen. So that's a bold-faced lie. That's bullshit. All of this came down. Patrick Clark began to spin in a downward spiral, and the car accident was one of the aspects of that downward spiral. The car accident came after the accusations. Who are you bullshitting, dude? This is what I mean. This company just likes to sweep things under the rug without actually addressing shit. In the moment, all of this other stuff happened after the car accident. No, the car accident was after the personal issues for Velveteen and the accusations. That's just the timetable, brah. And then he reiterates 4 more times that it stemmed down to people thought they removed him because of the accusations. No, it was because of the car accident. Bullshit. The pressure was already on when all these people were coming out. That's absolutely insanity to think the car accident is what took him off. And again, I'm a Velveteen fan, if you will. I'm so high on the dude. But this just screams, what is this guy talking about? This just screams bullshit meter at an all-time high. Listen to him stumble over his words, please. In today's day, accusations are made and you take them all very seriously. You look into them the best you can and you find out what is there and what isn't. He says, you find that there is a situation that people bring to everyone's attention. You look into it and find that it is what it is. There's nothing there. That's his words, guys. I didn't just paraphrase that. You find out what is there and what isn't. It's a situation that people bring to everyone's attention. You look into it and find that it is what it is. What the fuck? That's what you have to say? Once he is medically cleared to be able to return to the ring from his car accident, we continued forward the way we did. We looked into what was there and we didn't find anything. End quote. Now, of course, the issue with this is after H left these original answers to that question, these original 2 paragraphs, some of the people involved in this situation said that they were never contacted by WWE for any investigation. So this led, I believe, this was on the NXT conference call, which was later last night, where Triple H was asked again, H, some people have said that they weren't contacted for the investigation. And H just kind of said, Well, I already talked about it earlier, so I think we should just move on to other questions. He dodged it completely at that point, because that's when you know, oops, I've been caught in a lie, right? That's H's MO right there. That's Vince McMahon's MO. When you're caught, move on. But he was asked about it because people have stepped up once they heard Triple H's answers, the original answer. And they were like, whoa, wait, investigation. You found out that nothing was there. I didn't get talked to. I was never asked anything. Nobody contacted me. And H is like, no. We did it. We did it. We assure you, we did it. I already spoke about it. Well, let's move on. How about Adam Cole and Pat McAfee? Let's talk about that. Karrion Kross, whatever the fuck you want to call him these days. He's taking on Keith Lee. Let's talk about that. That's what I mean. I like Triple H. You guys know that. I'm really high on Velveteen Dream. But when I heard these answers by Triple H, my bullshit meter just went up to an all-time high. It was like ding, 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 ding. It was shaking. I was like, oh shit, it's like fucking 3 a.m. You're fast asleep and you hear the fucking fire alarm go off, right? You know, something's wrong. There could be a fire or smoke is somewhere imminent. That alarm is picking up something. The bullshit meter within the Ant-Man was picking up something. Anyway, if I did not blow my mic out in that whole entire 20-plus minute cold open, if I didn't blow my mic out, we'll continue with the NXT review after I down the rest of this coffee, of course. But I'll be with you in about, 14 seconds. Hold. Please hold. NXT for August 19, 2020. This is the go-home show for NXT TakeOver 30 this Saturday night. What is this? Thursday, Friday? We're just a couple nights away, man. It's hard to believe this is SummerSlam weekend. It crept up on us out of nowhere like a fucking RKO, man. But it is. It's SummerSlam weekend, guys. TakeOver is Saturday night. Sunday night, of course, SummerSlam. So for this go-home show, we kicked it off with the second chance qualifier for this Saturday night's ladder match at TakeOver 30 for the North American title. So it's a big ladder match that they've been kind of bumping up over a series of triple threats over the past several weeks, and last night was a second chance for the losers of those triple threats. This one was Johnny Gargano versus Ridge Holland. One point in this match, Holland dropped Gargano on his dome piece, and I was like, oh, fuck. The look on Holland's face was like, oh, shit. Because it looked pretty nasty. It was cringe, man. You almost had to look away. You really were hoping Gargano, even though it was taped, you got caught up in the moment as if it was live, and you were like, I hope Johnny's okay, man. But it was taped. Obviously, he's okay. They wouldn't put it on there. But again, that's how nasty it was. You got lost in the moment. And Gargano is a stormtrooper, though, which means he's badass and he kept rocking like nothing, man. He actually kind of used it as part of the match storyline. So that's Johnny Gargano, and that's how damn good he is. And that shows you how Ridge Holland still has a little bit of ways to go. This match was pretty solid, even with that botch. This was a pretty solid match. Slight interference from Candice LeRae opened the door for Gargano to hit a low blow, followed by the one final beat DDT. And Gargano advances to this pretty big ladder match for the North American title this Saturday night at TakeOver 30. So I think Gargano in that match is the right move. Obviously, if Ridge Holland not only defeated Johnny Gargano, but also goes on to this big North American title match, we have bigger issues in NXT than we originally thought. Moving on, Dakota Kai versus Jessie Kamea. Only a 4-minute match, but 4 minutes full of action. No wasted seconds in this thing, so that's good to see. Jessie's got potential, but still a long way to go. You can kind of see a lot of holes in the game. Hopefully they'll be filled in by the time Jessie Kamea really gets a push, if she ever does. But I am on board with that, just in the future, right? Just like Ridge Holland, man. Give them some more time, give them some more airtime, give them some more reps. Fine-tune them, and they could be something. But I did see a lot in Jessie Kamea, but she just has a way to go. Dakota Kai, that's my gal. What can I say? Dakota Kai has already arrived. She's ready for that spotlight. Anytime she's given the chance, she's going to shine, and she did again last night as well. She delivered the GTK for the W, and Dakota is victorious. Now, the real news here came post-match when Dakota talks trash to Io Shirai. Io puts a whooping on Dakota right up to the rampway, and that's when Raquel Gonzalez comes back to NXT. She reappears, re-debuts, shows herself. I mean, we thought something happened to Raquel, especially after last week when Dakota said, I'm done playing with others. I'm on my own from here on out. And here we are a week later, and she's already got Raquel back. But Raquel comes out of nowhere, attacks Io Shirai, and again, so much for Dakota being on her own. I was kind of looking forward to that. I don't think Dakota needs a sidekick, but a lot of these heels these days have sidekicks, and I guess they felt Dakota needed Raquel. It adds definition to storyline, I'm not going to lie. You could do a lot with Raquel with Dakota. I just want to see more from Dakota. I think she's too damn good to be overshadowed by Raquel. And that's what happens in these type of segments. Yeah, Io's beating the shit out of her, but here comes Raquel, the real monster. All right, and what that does down the road is it's just going to set up Raquel and Io. But we already know Io can beat Raquel, but that's how they're bumping up Raquel Gonzalez. I hope you guys are keeping track. I could have done without this. So a lot of people were like, oh, Raquel's back, man. They're reunited, yeah. And I'm like, nah, it's not needed. But they felt it was needed to add an extra layer to Dakota and Io. It's just not. It's Dakota and Io. They're fucking fantastic. You put them together, sit back, and watch magic happen. Escobar, Wilde, and Mendoza. Legado del Fantasma. They took on Breezango and Swerve Scott in a six-man schmaz match. It was a decent match. I just can't stand multi-man schmaz matches. I just can't. Once you get past 4 men in the ring, I can do tag teams. But once you get more than that, it just becomes a circus to me. There's nothing that I need to watch. There's nothing that is going to excite me once you have 6 individuals in the ring. Or 6 participants. For what? What are we trying to get to the bottom of? Now you're just getting groups together and having them fight at that point. You're not getting to a captivating storyline. You're just not. I can go on and on. I'll spare you guys. I know we had a long cold open, so I'll move on. I can't stand multi-man schmaz matches. We'll leave it at that. To me, it's lazy booking. It's lazy as fuck. Let's just throw a bunch of individuals out there. Escobar hits the Phantom Driver on Tyler Breeze, and Legado del Fantasma win this match. I think that was the right call, obviously. It's just sad to see Breezango. Here they are. They failed on the main roster. No fault of their own. Vince just made them fail. They get back to NXT, and they're just bums, too. Just like Finn Balor. Finn Balor is collecting more losses, it seems, in NXT than he is W's. We'll get to that in a second, too, won't we? A couple of minutes, anyway. But Breezango, they're just jobbers in NXT. Swerve Scott, he's an afterthought. And he's good, too. I'll give Swerve Scott that, but he's an afterthought, right? He's always on the losing end of shit, too. Hour number 1 ends, and hour number 2 begins with Adam Cole, baby, and Pat McAfee, face to face. And again, this takes us in hour number 2. Now, a couple of things here. A lot of the wrestling community panned this match from the jump. Maybe it's still getting panned by the majority of the wrestling community. But I couldn't give 2 shits about anybody else in this community when it comes to these two. Because after last night, I'm invested now. Because Pat McAfee cut a better heel promo last night than 90% of the heel wrestlers today. Shit, better than 80% of wrestlers as a total. Pat McAfee was better in the promo department last night. Pat McAfee! Mr. NFL dude! Mr. Podcaster! He comes in last night to NXT. To the NXT Arena is what they're calling it now that WWE has moved into the Amway Center and they're now the Thunderdome. Now this is the NXT Arena, the Performance Center. So, this is what we did. We had Pat McAfee come in and show everybody how it's done. Pat McAfee comes in and he exposes everybody in professional wrestling for being a weak, poor-ass promo. Because that's just what happened. That's just one early Pat McAfee promo. Could you imagine if this guy was doing it for months, fucking years? Pat McAfee you'd be hanging on every fucking word. This is a guy who just has it, the gift of gab, and he knows what he's talking about, and he's going to captivate you through his fucking words. I would not be shocked if this Saturday night we're talking about a damn good Adam Cole McAfee match. Not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. These two had me captivated for this entire 9-minute segment. It was very well done. Adam Cole gets right up into Pat McAfee's face after taking out a bunch of security guards because they honestly thought they were going to come to blows. But Adam Cole takes all of them out, gets in McAfee's face, and says, this Saturday night, I'm going to make you my bitch. And you heard it very vocally, right? That mic was right on him. And he backs up and he walks out, and I'm captivated, and they didn't even come to blows. The security people, they got beat up, but Pat McAfee and Adam Cole never threw a punch at one another, and they were able to tell an awesome 9-minute story/segment. That's what I love. You can do it through your words. You just got to be able to cut a damn solid promo. That's a lost art, and it befuddles me. I said this a million times before. I'll say it a million times going forward. How can you have a performance center where you have a promo class? You get taught now how to do a promo, and you come out sucking more than anyone we've seen ever before in the business. They go to promo class and they get to the main roster complete trash. Do away with promo class. You can't teach people the it factor. The reason people like Ric Flair and Roddy Piper and Randy Savage and Stone Cold, The Rock, the reason they got so damn good and we got to see that showcased on a weekly, on a show-by-show basis, we got to see that because that was them. It was the it factor. They could have bullet points, no doubt, written for them, bullet points, but then they just go off. They go off because they have that natural it factor, right? Those are the people that captivate us. You can't teach Stone Cold how to do a promo. You can't teach Ric Flair or Roddy Piper how to do a promo. They'd come back, they would come out like robots. You would make them worse than reaching their absolute top tier potential. They would come out absolutely dogging it every night. Luckily, that was a different era where they could be themselves. Today, they're being taught how to do things, so they probably are too afraid to even be themselves. That's half of it. And the other half is those that are trying to be themselves just aren't captivating. 2020's dudes, and even women, they're just not as badass as back in the day. It's just the truth. They're just not as badass. I know those are hard words, man. I'm sorry for the younger generation. Hopefully you are. I'm just saying, as you know, if you broaden it out as a whole, I'm seeing a lot more, less badassery in today's world than back in the day, man. Back in the day, you had a lot of just kick-ass people. And I'm not just talking about fighting-wise, just badass, meaning everything they did, they took it head on, man. And they weren't afraid, and they didn't whine and bitch, and they kicked ass. They were amplified, always. And today, it's just a different world, man. I don't know. And my point is this. You see it in promos now, right? Because if you're asking somebody to bring out themselves to the 10th level, right? Raise the volume to 10 is what Stone Cold always says. When Steve Williams became Steve Austin, it was Steve Williams putting the volume up to 10. And that's when he transitioned into Steve Austin, the character. But if you're doing that today, these individuals are trying to get up to 10, and it's still them. It's still them. Maybe they're at a 2. They think they're at a 10. Ricochet, he thinks he's at a 10. He's like, I'm gonna beat you Sunday. You guys see what I did? I was at a 10 there. I said, I'm going to beat him Sunday. Yes, Ricochet. Good job, buddy. Go do a back somersault, moonsault, flip. How you doing, Hurricanrana, midway salt. Dive. But I haven't done that in a week. Okay, I'll try it. I'm just kidding. I pick on Ricochet. I like Ricochet. I do. I like Ricochet. It's just, man, when he cuts promos, man, it's like, all right, stick to the dives, dude. Just drop the mic. So I just can't speak more highly on Pat McAfee, and it's depressing because to me it's exposing the fucking wrestlers in today's industry. Pat McAfee shows up. Everybody panned this dude. Oh, he's an outsider. He shouldn't be there. He's a celebrity. Blah, blah, blah. And then he comes in and he's fucking captivating the Ant-Man. What the fuck is happening? It's sad when he overshadowed over 90% of the fucking rosters in today's wrestling industry. Tag match was next. Aaliyah versus Martinez. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Aaliyah and Martinez, the Robert Stone brand, taking on Shotzi, Blackheart, and Rhea Ripley. I gotta say, Blackheart and Ripley make a damn good team. And they have legit chemistry. So, if there's going to be a tag team fighting for the championships and they come from NXT in the future, I wouldn't mind that being Blackheart and Ripley, actually. And I'm not even a big fan of Rhea Ripley. I'm just not. I don't see it. I don't see what everybody else is seeing in Rhea Ripley. I just don't. Pretty fucking average to me. Even the look is kind of like, all right, I can do without that. So I don't get it. If you're being honest, Shotzi Blackheart is more of a character to me than Rhea Ripley. And Shotzi and Rhea Ripley actually pick up the W here. And Martinez takes a nasty powerbomb by Ripley on the outside. Just for insult to injury, but looked pretty badass. They got a different camera angle, so I guess outright it didn't look badass, but the illusion of it was badass anyway, right? It's like the punt kicks for Randy Orton when he gave it to Ric Flair. The lights went out, you know, so you didn't see the punt kick, but you had the illusion that he took a badass punt kick. Some people, by the way, think that that was a setup. Could be, right? The lights did go out. Does Ric Flair show up at SummerSlam and cost Drew McIntyre the championship and he realigns with Randy Orton? Possible. But anyway, Martinez takes that powerbomb on the outside. I guess that was the biggest newsworthy point of that match. The main event was a second chance qualifier for this Saturday night's ladder match at TakeOver 30 for the North American Championship. This is Finn Balor taking on the Velveteen Dream. Such a good match. Pay-per-view-esque, actually. Balor is so damn good, and Velveteen is a bona fide superstar that just has that natural talent. I tell you guys all the time, Patrick Clark just has that natural ability, natural talent. You put him in this Velveteen Dream character, and it's a bona fide superstar that is going to captivate. And we know how good Balor is. So you put these two together, and that is a main event worthy of discussion. That's a main event. When you hear Balor is going to take on Velveteen, that's a main event, man. And this thing went off. This thing went off the rails late, though. It was a damn solid match, obviously. I mean, I just sit back and seriously, I enjoyed the shit out of this. But the end of this went off the rails, man. This turned into a train wreck, and I could not keep up. You guys know I hate when so many bodies are involved because I can't keep up with it, and it no longer becomes captivating. Right? It's no longer intriguing. It just becomes a circus. And that's what happened here, man. Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Timothy Thatcher, all involved late in this thing. Velveteen, through it all, Velveteen Dream hits the Rainmaker and defeats Balor. And then a circus ensues post-match with spot finishes performed. Everybody just starts hitting their finishers or some shit. And I'm thinking some of these dudes aren't even in that ladder match this Saturday night. Like, what the fuck is Timothy Thatcher doing out there? Why is Damian Priest and Bronson rekindling shit? This is about Velveteen and Balor. And this is why it just didn't make sense. This is something you would see in WWE on the main roster, where they have everybody that's going to be in the match at the pay-per-view come out and have a circus fight fest. You know, you don't expect this in NXT. Because Velveteen and Balor were having such a damn good match. You know, it sucks to see it end like that, man. But Balor flat on his back looking up at the lights again. That's what I mean. He has nothing to lose. Why not just dome him as the Demon again? I know he has said in the past he doesn't necessarily like transforming into the Demon. That's fine. I'm just asking a few times a year then. And by a few, 3, 4? Shit, we'll even take 2 times a year. Nobody has anything to lose. All of us have something to gain with him becoming the Demon. He went to NXT because they had nothing for him in the main roster. Look at him now in NXT. He loses the triple threat match a few weeks ago just to try to get an opportunity at their mid-card championship, the North American title, and he couldn't even win that triple threat. Here he is last night. Balor is in a second chance match. They're giving him a second chance just to try to get an opportunity at the mid-card title. And he loses that too. What more does Balor... Just make him the Demon. It doesn't matter what you like or what you don't. You're under the WWE umbrella. This is what is best for business. The fans obviously win because the Demon is a bona fide superstar. He becomes instantly a superstar, way more than just regular Finn Balor when he dons the Demon character. So the fans obviously win. The company wins, obviously, because the Demon sells tickets. It's a badass character. On top of that, I don't know who's buying tickets these days, but you get my point. Interest with the Demon. And Balor wins. More than anything else, Finn Balor gets to be plucked. He gets to pluck himself out of obscurity. Vince had nothing for Finn Balor on the main roster. Triple H has nothing for Balor in NXT. Just become the Demon. The Demon, if I'm correct here, was a former heavyweight champion on the main roster. You go from the Demon being a heavyweight champion to Vince not even knowing what to do or having anything for regular Finn Balor. Nobody is going to sell me that the Demon isn't best for business today. I don't care if he doesn't like to put on the paint too often. Put it on, dude! It pisses me off like John Cena, that situation, where for years he should have turned heel, and he didn't. He went into business for himself. He wanted to be Mr. Make-A-Wish. And that's great. But if you get out of the way and you help create new heroes, new faces, Make-A-Wish is going to have several people to pick from. They won't just have one dude. John Cena went into business for himself. I don't want to turn heel. I don't want to, but John, you went through every heel. The audience is stale with you. We need to go in a different direction. Everybody turns heel. Stone Cold turned heel. The Rock turned heel. Hulk Hogan turned heel. Macho Man turned heel. Everybody turns heel, man. I don't think Warrior was heel when he first broke into the business, but some people maybe not. But all the top stars, for the most part, turn heel. I don't care if it's Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, everybody has their time as a heel. You're not above the business. But John Cena kept saying, no. I want to be Mr. Ultimate Good Guy. And that's why we all started calling him fake. Because that's fake. We heard stories about John Cena. He's not the ultimate good guy. He has a lot of fucking holes in his game. Personally speaking. And he's not this perfect image, this perfect human being that he tries to portray. So just turn fucking heel, dude. Nobody's buying your bullshit, but no, he kept refusing. And to this very day, when he left, full-time anyway, he refused to ever turn heel. That's great for some personal vindication, right? Some personal agenda or personal goal that he was trying to achieve, right? I'm going to go my whole career without turning heel. But that's not what's best for business. The fans were yearning for the heel turn because it was needed. The company desperately needed a heel turn. Look where it is today. That's because they transitioned from an overly stale John Cena into a dude who isn't getting over for years like Roman Reigns. And that's why you see the company where it is today, in the shitter. It didn't start with Roman Reigns. It started with John Cena. That's the truth. I don't even mind John Cena, by the way. It just infuriates me that he never got out of his own way to help the company out. Man, there were so many times, guys, where Cena should have turned heel because a face was ready to be fucking bloomed and blossom. A face you could see was just sitting at the cusp waiting for John to get out of the way, and John never got out of the way. Never. And those faces that had potential, half of them aren't even with the company anymore. That's sad, man. And John rode it till it dried out, and then he took off. Left the company where it is today, man. That's just the truth. And that's why I say you can't make the same mistake with Roman. And you say, oh, Roman came in as a bad guy, though, BC. No, that doesn't count. That came in as a shield. Now, Roman's push as a face, we saw it's not what WWE and Vince wanted. It's a failure. He's getting 50% of the reaction tops. That's tops, which means half the crowd just doesn't want to see him in that spot. So you have nothing to lose, and it is best for business if Roman comes back as a heel. You have nothing to lose, and in the process, it's only going to make him more popular. So when he turns face again, more people will like him. I'm telling you, it's psychology. But they want to keep on riding this guy like he's the perfect all-time hero. What happened to the top stars turning heel? Vince will turn everybody else heel a million times. Nia Jax has been a face and a heel 100 times. Charlotte Flair has been a face and a heel 100 times. Kane, Big Show, you name it. Face, heel, face, heel. He'll switch everybody else 100 times. His top stars, he no longer wants to turn them. 50-50 reactions, as long as they're making noise, is good enough for Vince. But you could be getting a better reaction. Do you remember the crowd noise when Stone Cold's glass would hit? Do you remember the noise, how electrifying it is when The Rock came down the aisle? Now, I know it's a different era. Maybe it will never reach that type of a pitch again. But you can have reactions that are 75% and more behind an individual. It doesn't always have to be 50-50, and that's what pisses me off. We're resting on average these days, thanks to the old man in Stamford, Connecticut, and it's trickling right down into NXT as well. What brought up that whole side rant? Oh yeah, Finn Balor. Just become the demon, dude. You have nothing to lose. Get over yourself, get out of your own way, do what's best for business, don the paint, bring back the demon, and watch yourself and your stock skyrocket. I promise you, because that's what's going to happen. That's your NXT Go Home Show review, guys, for TakeOver 30. Hopefully it's a damn solid show. We'll all find out. I'll have the review of TakeOver on Sunday morning early, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, Monday morning we'll have SummerSlam's review, something we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. And maybe I'll even do that live with you guys, man. That might be the first ever live good, the bad, and the ugly. Speaking of live, tomorrow's podcast, I'm thinking about doing that live as well. Tomorrow's podcast, I know it's been a while since we've done a live. You guys seem to really like the live streams. I like them as well, but I know it's been several videos since we've done one. And I'm definitely not going to do one Saturday for the SmackDown review. I'm definitely not going to do a live stream for TakeOver's review. So, but I did want to get one in this week. So I think tomorrow would be a good time. The podcast, we'll just pick a bunch of news stories in the world. We'll talk about it together, interactive, and we'll go over the SummerSlam card too. That'll kind of be the preview. We'll do it all together. So I hope to do a live stream tomorrow. That's what I mean about saying subscribe to notified, because I usually do them really early or midday when not a lot of people are up or they're out in the world, maybe at their job. There's a concept. Maybe they have a 9 to 5. So I usually do them at times where a lot of people can't watch, unfortunately. But I always make sure that the video gets uploaded later. The live stream is uploaded as a regular video. So even if you can't catch the live stream, it'll still be up. But if you can catch it live, we usually have a lot of fun, man. I usually try to see, I just kind of try to gauge you guys. I ask you guys a lot of questions. We just, yeah, we go over the whole stream. We just talk, man. We just shoot the shit. That's why I love live streaming with you guys. And it's good to know that you guys like it as well. So maybe tomorrow, be on the lookout. If I do again, it'll be early. So be on the lookout for it. All right, that's it. Coffees and ass whippings for this Thursday, though, guys. And we'll see what NXT and WWE has in store for this weekend. This is their second biggest weekend of the year. And we're in the middle of a Wabaka, so it's going to be interesting. This is the first weekend for Vince in the Thunderdome. That starts tomorrow night on SmackDown. There's a lot to get to this weekend, guys. So maybe it's good if we do go live tomorrow before the Thunderdome, because there's a lot to talk about. Much love and respect always. Think, be, live, amplified always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Check you later.